amongst its frantic combat, slick parkour, and outrageous action choreography, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End achieves something wonderful: maturity. This is less a breezy lad's tale reveling in fortune and glory, and more a story about the lads when they're all grown up, bolstered by an equally developed graphics engine and career-high performances from its cast. A surprisingly assured set of multiplayer modes ices the cake.
Good to have you back, Drake.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
What lets it down, however, is an uninspired and overly long third act, which slows down its pace considerably with repetitive gameplay.
That won't work.
Uncharted 4 consequently falls short of the greatness achieved by some of developer Naughty Dog's leaner, more inventive predecessors. Its 15-hour experience kicks off with focus and does a terrific job of exploring Nate, Elena, and Sully as a more world-weary group of adventurers, with their concerns about setting out on one more adventure layered throughout its quieter moments in marvelous incidental conversations.
Wait, Sully, you're telling me that you actually did some research?
Your companion characters never break the spell in action either. If you choose to play stealthily, so will they. If they're in your way while climbing, they'll let you clamber over them. They're competent in gunfights, helpful in traversal, and witty throughout.
Sully, you gotta be crazy to wear a shirt like that.
Crazy handsome.
They feel vital. This level of polish and slickness permeates Uncharted 4. During traversal, you can now reach for platforms with the DualShock thumbstick, which leads to fluid, unbroken climbing. A new 4x4 controls well over tricky terrain, and the camera worships Nate's grappling hook.
Oh, that kinda hurt.
While I would have enjoyed more to do in Uncharted 4's more expansive environments, I appreciated that occasionally there was more than one pathway to reach my goal. The same can be said for the stages of more violent action, as most encounters take place on elaborate adventure playgrounds, allowing for more stealthy play. I liked having the option to play less aggressively, even if this is fairly pedestrian and routine stealth gameplay in 2016. If you are noticed, Uncharted 4's bad guys will spring into action and distinguish themselves in combat. Open level design allows them to pull relatively intelligent moves like flanking, and they'll rarely forget you're there if you try to hide. Such credible behavior means you have to keep moving in battle. It's typical Uncharted-style shooting, but there's a genuine satisfaction born from each kill. It's fun, frantic stuff, and somehow the visuals keep up with it all. Uncharted 4's dramatic vistas are predictably impressive, but it's the little details that really astound. The regularity of such beauty borders on ridiculous. It may be 30 frames per second, but this is the prettiest game I've ever played.
Look at that beauty.
Regarding the series' trademark outrageously choreographed action sequences, Uncharted 4 suffers from a curious lack of imagination. There are some explosive bright spots, but otherwise the thrills here tend to be of a more predictable nature. This becomes a big problem in Uncharted 4's third act, where the pacing slows down to a crawl. This jungle section is a repetitive stretch of shooting and climbing, and after a while, every encounter blurred together into a slog. Things do pick up significantly by the end, though. The thoughtful exploration of these characters and their relationships with each other has a subtle payoff which bucks against the typical action formula. It's to Naughty Dog's credit that it's unafraid to stay true to its characters and their motivations.
Just bring me back something shiny, will you?
Yeah, bud. Take a shot.
There's not much to do in the main campaign once you've finished it, but there is extended life to be had in Uncharted 4's confident 5 vs 5 and 4 vs 4 multiplayer. Though it's still a sideshow to the main campaign in scope, its 4 modes, Team Deathmatch, Plunder, Command, and Ranked Team Deathmatch, embody the series' most enjoyable qualities: camaraderie, sheets of bullets, and a constant sense of momentum. Deathmatch is ranked, which lends competitive longevity and appropriate skill matchmaking, but Plunder and Command are the most fun. Command is a map domination variant that places greater emphasis on teamwork by putting a target on the back of the strongest player in each team, the captain.
Oh, you poor thing!
Plunder works similarly to previous Uncharted's, where the goal is to carry an idol to a central point on the map before the other team reaches it with theirs. Slowly heaving an idol to your teammate across a giant ravine while being shot at from all sides makes for a hilarious contrast in pace. The outrageous abilities you can now harness in all of Uncharted 4's multiplayer modes encourage the chaos. Spending earned points to temporarily wield supernatural powers can totally interrupt the rhythms of what would otherwise be a normal firefight. Instead of buying flashy powers, you can also summon enormously handy AI-controlled helpers in battle.
I need backup!
They're capable of fulfilling basic tasks like sniping, brute force shooting and healing, as well as giving your opponent something to shoot at that isn't your head. It plays beautifully. Because it runs at 60 frames per second, the shooting feels better than it does in the main campaign, and there's just as much fluidity to scaling walls and swinging, but now with a palpable smoothness. And Naughty Dog does a great job at twisting familiar environments from the main campaign into interesting shapes across 8 maps. While it's difficult to say what Uncharted 4's multiplayer will look like in the future, there are enough unlockables and perks to act as a carrot for completionists, and Naughty Dog has promised more maps, mysticals, and a co-op mode in the future that I'll be sticking around for. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End is a remarkable achievement in blockbuster storytelling and graphical beauty.
Feast your eyes, gentlemen.
Though it's let down by a lack of imagination and some self-indulgence, especially in a third act that drags on far too long, Uncharted 4 carries on the series' proud tradition of peerless polish and style, with a great multiplayer component to boot. Most importantly, it's a gentle send-off to the ragtag group of characters we've known for 9 years. A worthy thief's end, indeed. For more on Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, stick with IGN.